You can just move over now. You never came around, never came around.
Vernons.
Vernons.
And so part of the project we were talking about how a lot of out-of-towners go there, and sometimes they mess it up, like they come with graffiti and they leave their trash and whatnot. And so, like, I know you go there with the camp, and have you ever, like, run into out-of-towners that have been reckless or, like, obnoxious?
We tend to only go at off hours so that we don't run into that crowd that might be there. It was only a problem a few years ago, and it's less now, mainly because everybody from out of town that goes there has to park. And they've now made parking very strict in that area. So they find that they have no place to park, they're not going to walk into Vernons. And don't forget, Vernons is technically, you're not allowed to swim in Vernons.
Right.
And that's probably more for liability than anything.
Yeah, because that's the only quarry that's really, because I know police go through there and they don't really kick people out of the Vernons when they're swimming. But that's like the only quarry in Gloucester or Rockport where they'll allow that, except for like Seal Barrack maybe. Because it's private.
You can just move over now. You never came around, never came around, never came around. You can just forget it now. You never came around, never came around, never came around.
So, you swam in Vernon's Quarry before.
Yep.
And that's the only is that the
That's the only one
quarry
I've been to.
you've
Yep. Yep.
And so it's the only quarry in Gloucester that's
Sort of public,
it's
right?
like somewhat open to the public. It's not technically allowed, but they let it slide.
Yeah.
And so does it ever seem like to you, like, because that's the only quarry, does it seem like it's, when you go there, is it constantly, there's constantly people who might be obnoxious, or there's constantly other people there who it's like maybe a little more crowded than you'd want like quiet swimming hole to be?
I actually have a pretty good time when I go there. Sometimes you go and there's only a handful of places really to hang out.
Right.
And if they're full, then you just keep walking. Or sometimes you can share people. But I've had a pretty good experience, mostly with people being pretty good there. I think when you get there sometimes, and clearly like the night before, there's beer cans and campfires and stuff. But when I've gone there in the middle of the afternoon, it's usually been pretty good.
So going back to like Vernon's, how do you feel about like all the people going in, leaving their trash, like graffitiing the rocks? Like, what's your view on that?
Oh, I have words I'm not going to use for people, what I think about people that leave their trash, but basically it's mindless idiots that do that. When we bring our kids up, everybody has to wear shoes because there's so much broken glass, and you know, it has something to do with probably too much alcohol consumption, but basically that's just an indication of them being idiots. They're everywhere. It's sad, and there was somebody that would pick up every day, and then they decided to stop picking up so that everybody would see how bad it got, and it did get pretty bad. There are people that love their Vernons, mostly the Lanesville group. I don't blame them. It's a wonderful place to bring your family up and play over there. But again, there's always somebody that, you know, they just can't carry in and carry out.
I'm sorry to